Dash Quinn, welcome back to another table talk. But I'm not alone today. No. I'm here with lads, awesome people, these wonderful quality content creators. CaptainMatt ASMR, say hi.
Ahoy there.
The wonderful Tsuma ASMR. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi. And a extra special guest, Nerdieo. Say hi.
Hi, hello.
Oh, so excited for this. I've teased it. I've put it on my YouTube. It's in my videos that are coming out, I think, next week. This is something I've been looking forward to for about a week and a half now. And yeah, it's normal table talk stuff. We're going to talk about the game, what we loved, what we hated, what we struggled in, what was really too easy, and yeah, probably other things. So, before we start, is there anything that anyone wants to say about the game? Any extra comments before we get going?
None specifically at the moment. It's a neat game.
For sure, absolutely. It's definitely, in my opinion, one of the best sequels, because it's something different, but it's a good kind of different, and that's hard to do with sequels.
It's very different compared to the first four. That's for
absolutely.
Sure.
Less scary. So
True.
Let's kick it off. First question: what did y'all think of the game? We'll start with CaptainMatt. What did you think of the game?
Sure. So I had seen the game played by Markiplier. That was kind of my introduction to the whole series. And I really, really enjoyed this one and how different it is, the free roaming aspects of it, the different nights and their different challenges, and just the creativity with it. So getting to play that and having seen somebody else play it before, it's a neat experience. And like y'all said already, it's just very different in terms of what had come before.
So true. I love it. It's great. Yeah, Tsuma, what did you think of the game?
I think that this one was the cutest game, honestly, in the series so far. It's the cutest one.
The cutest. For sure. The designs horrify me, but I get what you're coming from. So Nerdieo, what do you think of the game?
I think the game's cool. Like I said, I think it's a pretty neat game. When it first came out, I didn't like it, but I've grown to like it more and more as time goes on, especially for like mainly lore reasons.
I'm glad you said that, because that's my thoughts as well. I didn't like the game because it was so different, coming off of the horrifying Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and all the nightmares and the jump scares were 10 times worse than any of the games of that time, really. And I remember in the trailer they showed the faces like opening up, and I thought that was going to be a big part. I mean, it kind of is, but not really. And so I just really wasn't interested in it. But after playing it all the way through, my views have definitely changed. Big fan. Beginning of the end. We'll get into that later. So, next question. What was the hardest part of this game? And I have a feeling that all of our answers are going to be the same. But of course, we'll start with CaptainMatt.
So I think the big toss-up is going to be Night 2 versus Night 4, right? Everybody kind of struggled with that Night 4, but
yeah,
the same repetitive motion, and if you get the patterns down, it's just a matter of timing until you actually get it. For me, I feel like Night 2 was the more infuriating because it's up to random chance. It's up to the game deciding, okay, now Bonnie's going to start spawning at this part of the part of Freddy, and you have to go and find it. So for me, that's the more frustrating and anger-inducing part of it, more than Night 4 was.
Sure. Oh man, Tsuma, what was the hardest part of the game for you?
Okay, well, Night 4 was like a skill issue, dude. I don't really normally like play like video games and stuff, and CaptainMatt was actually the one to buy me this game because I had mentioned wanting to play it, and so that's why we like streamed it together. And it was really hard. I I watched Markiplier do it, and it was like, okay, yeah, sure, like he just has to do this and that. But like I watched him, and I was like, I get it, it's hard, but like when you're doing it, like I was literally like sweating. I was like not having a fun time. But also like in the stream, like if you saw it, it was Bonbon or whatever. I forgot. Oh, CaptainMatt, what's his name?
It's Bonbon.
Funny.
He didn't spawn.
Mhm.
He like would not spawn. I had to restart my game for him to spawn, which was like super like frustrating because I had to go back and do everything. Yeah, like
but like
it led us astray, didn't you?
No, it worked for me. That's why I gave it to you guys. But I felt kind of bad when it just wasn't working for you guys. And then you guys
that was really hard. Yeah.
I'll save my response until I get to my turn. But yeah. So night 4, night 2, Nerdieo. What was the hardest part of this game for you?
I think for me it was, well, not necessarily hard, I guess I would say, but it was certainly like night 2 as far as like usual Five Nights games go, just because night 2 was really introducing like, oh, this game is more than just a sit and survive, and it's so vastly different compared to night 1. It kind of sets up the rest of the game. So it really is just a matter of once you start playing night 2, you realize, okay, this is going to be basically a different trial by night. Something's going to be a little off, and it's certainly harder to adapt whenever you're used to the first 4 games.
Absolutely. I like how it like you said, it sets it up for, it lets you know that this is not going to be a normal Five Nights at Freddy's game. Something entirely different.
Completely flipped the sit and survive on its head.
It's great. Speaking about my answer to this is night 4. Night 2 was cool. Bonbon wasn't horrible. Yeah, I died several times, but I thought it was just fun. But night 4 definitely takes the cake, because it's one thing to watch someone do this, and you can visibly see it's hard, and then you're the one playing the game, and you realize just how hard it is. It's incredibly hard. So hard, in fact, that it's been patched. And we all played the patch version. And you guys mentioned, Tsuma mentioned Markiplier and him playing night 4. He actually beat that night unpatched. So he's got bragging rights, but it's RNG. Towards the end of the night, you have to cheat around a little bit. You have to leave the strategy altogether. That's how I beat it, and that video comes up I think 2 days from now. Anyways, night 2, I think Funtime Freddy is harder than finding Bonbon. That one definitely made my heart race.
Oh, for sure. Funtime Freddy is certainly more, I guess, annoying, but I guess I'll defend like the outsider coming in. Night 2 certainly shakes things up for people just getting into the game.
Right, and if you don't fully grasp what is expected of you in that night 2, it can get really infuriating really fast, because you have to wait for Bonbon to emerge and slowly go up before you shine your light on him. And if you're not aware of that mechanic or don't realize that's happening, it can go a while. For me personally, I mean, we don't want to get anecdotal here, but after playing through the game once and going back and replaying, my time with Night 4 was basically 2 attempts and I got it. So that's why I'm saying doing that Night 4, if you know the pattern and can get that down, it gets a lot easier for you. But certainly that first time of doing it is infuriating.
It's horrible. Because they don't really give you any help. They just push you in the water, tell you to float. But I actually have some pictures here. We'll get into them in a little bit. I got a few more questions before there, but now you can see all of this talk, and you can see who's talking when. But yeah, Night 4, and I do not miss Night 4. Into the next one. What was the easiest part for everybody? We'll start with CaptainMatt.
Night 4. No. I would have to say just night 1, where nothing is happening. You're just kind of getting your bearings, right? So if that's nothing expected of you, just then to look around, that's probably the easiest part of the game, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll give you a little push, and then they'll shove you in the water. we'll switch up the order. We'll go with Nerdieo. What was the easiest part for
I'm
you?
gonna be a contrarian and say night 4. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's night 1. Night 1 is really the easy part. It's I feel like it's just always standard for night 1 just to be the introduction stuff.
Absolutely, totally agree. Slightly, Tsuma, what was the easiest part for you?
Yeah, I don't have to pick like a night or anything, right? Because I think like
easiest part of the game.
climbing through the little shafts are so cute. It was so fun. I love that. I felt like something was going to appear there. And I actually want to ask you guys, does anything actually ever really spawn there? Does anything happen? Or is it just for a fear factor?
I think there's one part where like there's like a slam on the sides of the vent. It makes a really loud noise. Other than that, there's nothing
so
that
nothing
comes
actually spawns there.
Nope. They just want to make
Also,
you,
like being in the elevator.
screwed.
That was really, really fun.
I enjoy the elevator. That was
It's a great setting, great ambiance. Like, it's just, again, so different. You're not in a restaurant, you're not in the bedroom, you are going down to this location, and it's so creative, right? It's nothing like you really would see in real life. So they do a good job of creating that atmosphere, that ambiance with the noises and the setting.
I feel like this really played into like maintenance crew members, because this is the normal for them. They go a different way to go behind the scenes and really, fix things. So I think that's pretty cool. The easiest part for me, it's actually not night 1. It's night 5. Night 5 is super easy compared to the previous night, that is. I think I failed a couple times because you have to click. That's where you click buttons on the wonderful baby.
Mm-hmm.
And my hand was just really sweaty and was trying to touch the really tiny buttons. I failed, but other than that, it's super easy compared to the previous nights. But night 1, of course, this is the easiest. You just go through and shock animatronics.
What's interesting about night 5 is you mentioned you're on your mouse, you're on your keyboard trying to click those buttons. I played the game on Switch, so trying to use like a joystick and guide a cursor on a screen trying to hit those buttons was quite difficult, a lot more than I think it would be using a mouse.
Oh, I can see that, definitely. And they give you like, I think it's 2 seconds, maybe 2.5 seconds to get to the next button until you just lose. So that's great. The next question before we get into our photos is, what part of this game scared you the most? We're going to start with Tsuma this time.
What scared me the most?
What scared you the most?
Can you come back to me?
Is there anyone who would like to go first? I should just call on you.
Sure, I'll step up.
Sweet.
I mean, I think this time it was just the animatronic style. I don't know what it is, just the whole, I guess I want to say just the segmented style of the animatronics, just the way they're designed and the atmosphere of this underground bunker pizzeria is kind of freaky. I wouldn't say it was like executed in the scariest way, because there's a limit to Five Nights and how it can get you. But certainly the atmosphere was done really, really well. You just feel like you're not supposed to be there.
Great. I like how they did that. I also agree. It's, the style of the animatronics, it just gives you a sense of they're not complete. They're not put together. They're, it's not finished yet. So CaptainMatt.
Right. So there's that part in it's the transition from night 3 to night 4, right? So it's a scripted jump scare when you're coming back through Foxy's room. And so when you think, the first time you're doing it, you think you're doing everything right, you're doing your flash beacon and everything, and you get jump scared unexpectedly. Like I did not expect that jump scare maybe jump a mile, because you think you're doing everything right.
Yes, this is so true. Man, Tsuma, do you need more time?
I'm so ready.
Okay.
I think the scariest part was finding the freaking workers hanging. I was
my gosh,
like
I love
in the
that.
middle of this stream, we were like, oh blah blah, like we're just playing it, whatever. Me and Matt were chilling, and then we see that, and we're like, whoa, trigger warning, it was not stream friendly right there. That was not okay.
The best part about that scene too is they just play it straight. They play it like nothing's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Great. Now let's look at Funtime Foxy. Hold on, wait a minute. No, that is a man. Okay. Let's see. What scared me the most? When I first watched Social Location back in 2016, Markiplier playing it, my answer then would have been the baby that tries to pull a little concrete slab, like it's covering your face, and it'll jump scare you if you get it to a certain point. Because I didn't know what to expect, and so that was the first jump scare I experienced, and that was it. That was enough. But now playing through the entire game, my answer has changed to Funtime Foxy, because you got that suspense, that fear whenever you're going across his auditorium, or her auditorium, and you have to use a flash beacon, and you can only see Foxy for 2 to 3 seconds, and then of course you can't use it more than, I think it's 3 or 4 times, or you'll get jump scared because you used it too much. So I also wasn't expecting the scripted jump scare either. That one definitely got me, but seeing Foxy whenever you use the beacon and she's just spazzing out, that terrified me. So that's got a kick for me.
The scripted jump scare was pretty nutty. Yeah, I wouldn't think that they would do something like that, because usually everything in Five Nights is, you die, you earned it.
Yeah.
This game certainly kind of broke that norm in more ways than one, and that's just one of the ones that immediately sticks out, obviously.
Breaking them ice, I mean. Okay, so now we're going to get into the animatronics first. As you can see, we're starting with Circus Baby. I'm just going to let whoever wants to talk first go first this time. What do you think about Circus Baby?
Circus Baby was an animatronic that I didn't like on reveal, that was completely redeemed, and it's I hate to say it again, it's only for lore reasons. Besides that, Circus Baby's okay. It's designed well, but it's certainly not my favorite designed animatronic, but still a cool one.
I'll go next. My story with Circus Baby, I too didn't like her at all during reveal. It didn't look 5 Nights at Freddy-esque. But after, hearing, I think it's Heather Masters, the voice actor for Baby, I really started to like her, because that creepy, eerie voice she uses for every line just gave me chills. And then, of course, the lore, we'll get to that a little bit. That was also just nice icing to the cake. But she's not bad. I kind of wish there was more Circus Baby, like physically, but that's my thoughts on it.
Like, as far as like her designs, would you say?
Yeah. Because you see physically Ballora, Funtime Party. I just combined the names. Funtime Foxy and Funtime Freddy. You see them all, but you don't really see Circus Baby.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so you wish you were just able to see her more.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Some mouth movement, not mouth movements, but I don't know. Just the character. Put the character in there.
Oh, yeah, I feel you. I feel like that's kind of why that's why they went the route of not pushing Circus Baby for this game, despite being like the main animatronic. But in this game's like advertising and stuff, you mainly see Funtime Freddy.
Kellen Goth is a wonderful voice actor. Leave it at that. Matt, what did you think of Circus Baby?
So I'm not a huge fan of clowns in general, so I pretty much took umbrage with the design of all the animatronics in this game.
That's so I can relate to that. I don't like clowns either, man.
But for lore purposes, sure, great character. But design wise, nope, I'd steer away.
Tsuma, what did you think about Circus Baby and her horrifying voice?
I actually really liked Circus Baby. I don't think her voice is like horrifying or anything like that. I thought she was like really well like acted as far as like the VA goes and stuff like that. There's like a way that you can add like slow and reverb tones to like your voice, like that I've used like in like my ASMR and stuff like that. And they definitely go in hard with like the reverb here, which makes it sound creepy. But I think her VA is like awesome. I love how you can see like, obviously a little bit of like the innards there and how like shiny they are. And you can like clearly tell that they're like super new and like meant to like work like fluidly, if you will, because she has a really fluid way of like moving. And it's because of the way that she was designed. But I don't know. I thought she was really cool. I like how huge she is. Badass.
Big. She's a big part of the game for reasons that I don't really care for. But speaking of that reason, if you die, get jump scared, all the above, there is, I forget the actual like chance, but there's a chance that you'll go into a mini game. I, for one, knew what this mini game meant, so every time I played it, I just immediately died because I didn't even try. Of course, I'm talking about Baby playing a Mario game and trying to feed all the children. And there's a hidden secret if you're good enough and you can get through it the right way. So what did you guys think of that mini game? We'll start with Matt this time.
So I kind of had a similar experience as you, Quinn, where, when you know that game has to be completed to perfection, you can't miss a single cupcake. You have to be moving constantly. You don't have that, and you've got that time limit. You're much more inclined to just give up, jump into the hole and say, okay, only when I'm ready to actually try and put some time and effort into perfecting this game, do you actually make that attempt. Because making the effort to die and then go into that game and whatever chance you said it was, that's a long time before you actually get an attempt.
It's very true. There's actually a way to trigger the mini game without dying. You have to go to the extras menu and on Baby's screen, go to the bottom left of the screen, and you can play the mini game that way.
I didn't know that.
That might have been added afterwards, but yeah, that's how I did it. But yeah, Tsuma.
We're talking about the mini game?
Yeah, the mini game where
or what was the direct question?
What did you think about it? Did you enjoy it? Was it fun? Was it
okay?
scary?
The mini game was wild because I literally died at the exact same time every single time I tried to play it, and it was like so predictable because it was when the screen would change to like the next scene, and
there would be a
I didn't know that there was no floor there, so I would just fall off, and I would forget every single time. And I even told Matt, I was like, I'll forget next time we do this, and I just kept doing that. It was wild, and so I never actually even beat that mini game, and I was just content with yeah, sure, like I played through whatever I could, and that's that. The stream was I think like 5 hours long.
It was 6.
Oh,
Perfect.
God.
5 hours.
Yeah, no, it was still going after like midnight my time, and I was struggling to stay awake. I was done. Anywho, Nerdieo, what do you think of this mini game? Lord.
So just this one mini game, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. it's just set up for Ballora. I mean, it's fine. It is strict, but like all the mini games are.
Uh-huh. You say it's set up for Ballora. What do you mean?
Like lore wise, or not Ballora? What am I saying? Circus Baby.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. It does its job.
Matt, would you like to explain the lore behind this mini game?
Oh, Quinn, that sounds like something. Did you like to explain, and I'll kind of comment on that? Is that okay?
That sounds great. I honestly did, but I didn't. I wanted to give you all the chance to do it.
Appreciate
This
that.
mini game, you have to. I think there's, maybe like 2-3 seconds of grace, but you have to stretch that out through the entire mini game because this mini game is long and you have to be precise on every movement. You cannot forget about that one area where you have to jump across the screen or you'll die, and so you have to go in a certain order with these cupcakes and feed these children in a certain order so you don't run out of cupcakes and you hit every one of them in a certain way where they'll all be full
Mhm.
by the time you get to the end and you get this ice cream. If you do it right, there will be, instead of like a cupcake, it'll be ice cream. And again, this game doesn't tell you this, but you have to take this ice cream and you have to go all the way back to the beginning. And I also didn't know this until I played it. You have to actually put down the ice cream. It's not automatic, so I didn't know that. And yeah, after you put down the ice cream, this little girl comes out looking like Goldilocks, and she gets snatched. She gets wait for it, home. She gets snatched just like that.
Scooped. She gets scooped.
She got scooped and ate, absorbed.
Turned into ice cream.
Yummy. So yeah, any comments on it?
Well, and we want to bring up that little Goldilocks girl is in fact that's Afton's daughter, right? The person that
is
created these
Elizabeth
robots.
Acton.
Mm-hmm.
And so the robot killed his daughter. And what
Yeah.
happens to that robot, Quinn, after that happens?
She becomes baby. She is baby. That's the voice you hear behind the animatronic. Is Elizabeth.
And it's signified because her eye color changes from blue to green, green being the color of Elizabeth's eyes.
Very small, but very awesome detail there. And actually going into the future, that plays a vital role into the next game, which we'll get to by the end of April, I'm assuming. Talking about my uploads. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. I'd honestly like to put this up with like the hardest part of the game because it is very stressful and unforgiving, and it's a nice reward. You get a star, you get a pretty little star, but other than that, it's
You don't understand. You get the lore. And
you get the lore. This is
lore.
a pretty big thing of lore. That this is
Well, and it does require you to, you have to complete that minigame in order to get to the secret room, right? To get to that
Correct.
third final star.
to get to the animatronic who's also in the slideshow. We'll get there. And if you don't, does anyone know what happens if you try to go to the secret room and you don't beat this minigame?
No, actually.
So on night 5, Circus Baby tells you to go left so you can go to the scooping room and get scooped. You have to ignore all of her commands and go forward and right. Because there's a little blueprint, I forget where you can find it, but it'll show you that there's another room on the other side of the room from the perspective of the scooping room. And so if you hold W and D, which is forward and right, and you go there without beating this minigame, you get a message saying access denied, and entered will jump scare you.
So it's actually in night 2 when you are recharging Funtime Freddy, when you're pulling up that map and trying to restore power to the whole facility. That is kind of that foreshadowing that there is that extra room there.
Sweet. Yeah. I might try to add that, see if I can. So yeah, that's pretty much the biggest thing there is the lore. The lore is huge. Lore is delicious for anyone who eats up that lore. And talking about the next animatronic, this wonderful animatronic Ballora.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Honestly, I'm gonna start with this one.
No.
Ballora terrifies me. Them eyelashes are something else. The music isn't too terrifying, but I'm pretty sure it's when you're going through Ballora's what do you call it, auditorium, there's a set like audio clip that when you get to a certain point, I know his first name, the narrator, his name is Andy. He will trigger and he will like yell louder than he usually does, saying that you need to get to the other room. I think that's what he says, and it terrifies you because he tells you that it's Ballora is audio activated. So whenever he yells loud like that, it does the job. It makes you scared because you think that Ballora is going to hear you. So I think Ballora is terrifying. And of course, when she twirls around you, like right in front of you, the music's really loud. It's so good. It's a good scary. That's my thoughts. Tsuma, what do you think about Ballora?
I think that everything about her is just like sad. I think you could tell that she's like a very, very sad, and she has obviously like a very tragic like backstory and stuff like that. But while she does look scary, I think she's also like really pretty too. Like, come on, she's like so pretty.
You think so?
I like all of her little details. Yeah, she has a lot of cute little details, especially like in her hair. And you can't see, but like in her headpiece and stuff. It's very cute.
She looks to be the most complete. You know, just talking about the style of these animatronics.
And she looks like so human-like, you know?
So true.
Definitely not a giant bear or, you know, something like that. Like she's very human-like. I like that about her character.
Let's go Nerdieo. What'd you think of Ballora?
I hate to sound like a broken record here, gamers. Only like her for the lore. There's a lot to this game that I only like because of the lore. And I'm going to be contentious and say I do believe this is Mrs. Afton. I don't think it was ever confirmed, but I do believe it is.
Said it here, folks.
Just too much lines up here. It really... There's a lot you'll have to ignore to not think it's Mrs. Afton, but...
I honestly never thought that, but that's totally valid.
Security breach made it was way more damning. Way more damning.
I don't know.
Well, then let me ask you, Nerdieo, is Ballora a stand-in for Mrs. Afton, or is she possessed by Mrs. Afton?
She's possessed.
Okay.
Yeah, she's possessed by Mrs. Afton.
Stand-in is very interesting, though, Matt. Like, what makes you think that she might be a stand-in?
I know that a lot of the theories have said that Mrs. Afton left William after the child died, and so Ballora was kind of the way that he was able to kind of cope with that loss. He created a stand-in for her in her likeness. So she's not technically the wife. She's not Mrs. Afton, but she's a sort of robot stand-in, as a replica of what she would have looked like.
I like that one. Yeah, it's Mrs. Afton to him. So yeah, that's so interesting. I never thought about it that way, but it totally makes sense. Mrs. Afton, my lashes though. So after you get to through Ballora, you get to Funtime Freddy, but we'll get to him after on the other side of the layout. You get to go through Funtime Foxy, and all her spazzes. I'm going to start with this one as well because Funtime Foxy looks like Mangle put together. What y'all think about that?
No, yeah, 100%. Especially when you look at like Mangle, like post sister location. Mangle just looks like she's from so like true. This same style of like, I guess you can't say restaurant, but I guess like service. She's definitely like was made in mind with this location.
The only thing that does not track is the like radio noises. But I mean, I guess it would make sense because she's put together, so she wouldn't be broken like that.
Yeah, 100%.
The model's horrifying. Matt, what did you think of Funtime Foxy?
So what's interesting is when you compare the Funtime Foxy that we see in this game versus the one that appears in Ultimate Custom Night, just behaviorally is very different. They're the same appearance, but it's not the voice you would expect. It's not the kind of challenge that you would expect. So in this game, it's certainly one of the more terrifying challenges that you have to go with. But I think the Ultimate Custom Night Foxy is a little bit more interesting.
Absolutely. Voice lines are awesome too. I like those.
Mm-hmm.
It's a run ender. It really is. So, Tsuma, what did you think of Funtime Foxy?
I don't think I have any thoughts about Funtime Foxy. Not really.
So
I like how it looks like he has silence because of the cool chords going over his eyes, but that's so sorry.
It's okay. There's Funtime Foxy's there to just ruin your day, really. Because when you think you're fine, you're not. And you get jump scared, and you get mad, and you want to cry. And of course, stupid scripted jump scare. So I guess I think everyone's okay with just moving on to this SOB. Oh, Funtime Freddy is. I'm gonna let other people go first. Tsuma, why don't you start us off with Funtime Freddy?
Please come back to me. Please come back to me.
Okay, we'll do. Nerdieo, what did you think of Funtime Freddy and Bon Bon?
I like him. I think it's a very a unique way to incorporate the Bonnie animatronic, and I don't know. I don't want to say that Funtime Freddy. I just like everything about his character. He almost feels like he wants to or tries to play like ringleader in all of this, but not really. And I really like that.
I love Funtime Freddy. It's awesome. Everything about him. He's huge. He's freaking huge. Definitely taller than the.
Homie's like 10 feet tall.
He
Or at
looks
least
to
it
be
seems like
6'10".
it.
Probably around 6'10". Just bigger than the average human. That's what he looks to be. Matt, what do you think?
So, I mean, first off, marvel to voice acting. Kellen Goff does an amazing job with this character. But I think when you're in this unfamiliar territory of Sister Location, the underground bunker, you're not in Five Nights at Freddy's. Seeing Funtime Freddy, I really think that it gives gamers that familiarity that they would be looking for, knowing that they are playing that Five Nights at Freddy's. So not terrifying per se, more of that familiarity.
Yeah, yes. I would say Kellen Goff going with a higher pitched voice definitely throws it up because he's, like I said, he's huge, and then you hear him scream Bon Bon's name. You're just like, what? That's not a Freddy voice, but it is, and so it just adds to it. And like I agree, it's a nice reminder you are playing a Five Nights at Freddy's game. You have Freddy here, Bon Bon as a little hand puppet that actually moves is such a nice addition.
Matt, do your Bon Bon impression.
No, like Markiplier doing the Bon.
Yeah.
Bon.
Nobody's here.
I thought it was so cute.
There's actually a video on YouTube you can find of Kellen Goff voicing Bon Bon. I think it's
like you
pretty
can
cool.
actually see him doing it?
Yeah, you see his face while he's voice acting Freddy and Bon Bon.
Oh,
That
wow.
is so
That's amazing.
cute. Oh, I actually want to see that.
Gotta find
And
that.
he
Yeah,
actually,
we're gonna find that.
He's not the legit voice actor for Bon Bon that is a female, but he can do it, which is awesome because his natural voice is pretty low. So it's very, very awesome to see. My thoughts. Did I say my thoughts already? Kind of. Tsuma, what did you think of Funtime Freddy?
I think like final thoughts about him was that sorry.
Okay.
What was interesting in our playthrough was that we didn't realize that you could use that Bon puppet. I totally forgot about that, Quinn, until you brought it up in the chat. So thank you very much for that.
Absolutely. In my video that went out last week, I totally hard moded Funtime Freddy. My commentary went out the window and I just buckled down and I beat the night, and It was so stressful, but it was fun. I don't know what it is. Oh man, the flickering lights and him changing between flickering lights. That's so genius. It just adds to the horrifying nature that is Funtime Freddy. Freddy's ooh, there's a scene where he's really close to you and he looks like a young kid trying to be scary, but he put their arms up. He has that position and he's way too close for comfort. And so that was definitely one of my favorite moments of Funtime Freddy. Of course, he shows back up in the secret room with the iconic line of Bon Bon, go get him. He has a little glitch to his voice, and it's just so crisp. It's awesome. Killing Goff destroyed these lines, man. That's my thoughts.
Can you do that line? Can you do that line, Quinn?
No. I wish I could, but I'd end up throwing out my voice and the recording. But man, more fun. Also, Kellen Goff voices Glam Rock Freddy in Security Breach. Bet you didn't know that. So that's pretty cool too. Next one. Yeah, oh, yes. Ennard!
Yay!
Spoilers!
The lore.
Lore.
I'm pretty sure isn't Ennard the inside of Ballora? Isn't that right?
Ennard is the amalgamation of all of them, from what I understand.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Nerdieo, can you confirm that?
I believe that is the case, yes.
Sweet. The first time you see Ennard is when you are working on Baby, trying to click the buttons. So night 5, you can very vaguely see Ennard in the background, all animated, like almost looks like it's breathing. The nice touch of the mask missing when you first load up night 5, so good, so good. You know something's coming, but you don't know exactly what is coming. And the jump scare on night 5 kind of shows you, but it's so much better in the secret room. Ennard is the amalgamation of everyone, every animatronic in Sister Location. And I feel like it's one of the best ways to finish up this game. I'm very happy with what they did. I really didn't know what to expect. And especially that secret night where you have to just battle him. It's just him. Or it. I don't know what you want to call it there.
Lore. Yeah, it was really, really cool. Just cool lore animatronics. Again, all these animatronics that are lore related, I'll just take them all up. They're all cool.
They're all super cool. Super cool.
At the end of my stream, I threw out there, I was like, nah, we hate you. Go live in the sewers. But nobody got my joke.
Oh, you made that joke? I was dead asleep.
Nobody got it. Nobody got my joke. Lore!
Tsuma knows the lore. That's awesome. I was actually going to talk about that. I'm really glad you knew about that. Matt, what do you think about Ennard?
Now that we know that Ennard is a thing, like the first time you're playing through, you've never experienced the game before, not realizing that those wires are sitting behind Baby, and then realizing it that second playthrough is fascinating breath of fresh air just to see how they've, like you said, the missing mask and everything. Like the clues are all there. Everything's in place for you to realize that there's this beast at the end of the game. But the first time you don't realize all of that. You're not thinking about it.
You're not, because you're probably exhausted and brain dead after night 4. You know what I mean?
And you think you're home free. You think night 5, I did what I was told to do and I'm out of here, man.
Just kidding.
Right.
So good.
Classic, pull out the rug from under your feet.
Nerdieo. Mr. Lore, what did you think?
I like Ennard. I really do. I think it was I think Ennard, like, moving forward into the games as like a character that represents Sister Location is really cool. Again, because as this is a little bit outside of just Sister Location, but moving forward, you have like they treat Ennard as like this character who represents the game as a whole, and we do see other animatronics, and like obviously there's like Ultimate Custom Night where we get all the Funtime versions, but Just one character to represent the game as a whole is a really nice idea.
Absolutely. It's definitely like the summary. The summary of Sister Location is entered. And that last scene, if you beat the Secret Night, you know, you're watching the finale to everyone's favorite sitcom. And entered like going across the screen. You can hear the screeching noises.
Like, following you home.
It was so horrifying, but so awesome. It's great. Good shit. You gotta look that up if you haven't seen that. Tsuma, what do you think of Ennard?
I loved him when he came up at the end, and you sort of like, you know, if you didn't piece together what happened before that, you sort of realize that you have become him at the end. It's really interesting. Yes. I really, really liked it. I thought it was super cool how, you know, these are animatronics. Obviously, they want like a different shape and form and stuff, but they still decided to put like a mask on. You know,
these animatronics are so smart.
They still put on like a little party hat. I think that was really interesting. It's kind of cute too.
Heather Master's line of, "But if we looked like you," that gave me so many chills. The way she said it and it all coming together, and you realizing, oh my god, and you go in front of a mirror, and you get purple eyes. If you beat all the different kinds of nights with that Secret Night, you'll get animations of you walking across the street, you becoming more and more decomposed, eventually turning purple. I don't plan on doing that. Just throwing it out there for my YouTube viewers. I don't plan on doing that because I want to move on to FNAF 6, but it's so vital to lore. It's so awesome to see the creation of Purple Guy after how many years of him showing up in the games? And then
that begs the question about the lore as well, doesn't it, Quinn? Is that the same purple guy that we've been seeing for years, or is that a different purple guy? Yeah, Nerdieo knows. Nerdieo knows.
Wait, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
It's not the same purple guy. It's
twist.
Lore. You need spoilers.
Shoot, yeah. Are spoilers okay?
I'd save them. We could talk about them, but
all right, I'm going in. Okay, so in this game, you don't play as the purple guy. You play as his son. That's the reveal.
Oh my god!
So when you're watching the whole like mini game style cutscene where it's him slowly evolving into this purple figure, it's actually the animatronic. Like I think it's wearing his corpse, or the animatronic wearing his skin, and his body, because it's no longer alive, is just decomposing around the animatronic.
Gruesome. Gruesome and terrifying.
It's gross. We love it, really think about it.
All of FNAF is gruesome and terrifying.
And it's delicious. And then that final scene of him using a hyper beam and just, I don't know what came out of him. Had a lot of eyes. And of course, again, Heather Masters, so good. Saying you won't die over and over again. Oh, so good. Such a wonderful ending that really just keeps coming. You know, like this game doesn't end. It just keeps ending and ending and ending. So great.
Oh, yeah. It's certainly one of the things that made me come around to liking this game. Is just it is debatably the most important to lore as far as like continuing the series.
They answered a good amount of questions. I asked some more. So to wrap it up, is there anything else anyone would like to say about Sister Location? Like anything about the lore? This is where we talk about lore.
So this was where we were introduced to William Afton, giving him a name, learning about the family a little bit, and kind of adding some of that story. I think this is where we really turn that corner in from these are just being weird, cryptic games to there's an actual story here, there's actual lore here. So I think that was really interesting for this game in particular. Really fun to play. Glad we had the chance to stream it.
so happy to be there to watch you guys play it, and I'm very happy that I got to play it all the way through and record it and upload it, so I'll have it in years to come. It's a wonderful game. That is, I agree, very vital to the series.
Oh yeah, it's insanely vital. This is very off topic, but it's now that this game has been introduced, I wonder how they're going to handle I wonder how they're going to handle the storytelling of the game without sister location. And by this, I'm mainly referring to the movie. This is a whole different topic, but I don't see how they're kind of going to tell the story without sister location in it.
I feel like it's going to be like anything else. You know, when the series is pretty much done, you make a movie about it, it's going to be as if you didn't know the other parts exist already.
See, I wish the series is not done. We have so much to do.
There's a lot more that needs to be answered, but FNAF. Oh yeah, well I thought FNAF 4 was after this. No, FNAF 4 with the Bite of 87. You got to see it. You got to feel it. You got to hear it.
Was way before. Yeah, it was one of the first games in the timeline. And then I think to this day, FNAF 3 is still the latest.
Yeah, it's like the latest in this, like, year-wise.
Yeah, I don't think a time frame is confirmed for Security Breach. I could be wrong though.
I don't think does Security Breach play into anything?
Yes. Yeah. I hate to say it plays into a lot, especially the continuation of Purple Guy.
Interesting. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Anyhoozle.
Also,
here.
the hippo character also appeared in Security Breach in the magnet.
No, yeah.
I thought that was like a really cool part of Security Breach.
Darn it, I'm gonna have to play it now.
Absolutely, you are.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, the sister location as well as Pizzeria Simulator, I feel like are set up to Security Breach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm itching for Pizza Simulator. That's gonna be a lot of recording sessions.
Good. It genuinely might be my favorite one.
It's up there. FNAF 4 has the cake for me right now. FNAF, yeah, it goes FNAF 4, FNAF 2, and then you could put any of the other ones in any order.
Really? Okay, that's interesting.
I love FNAF 2 because that's what got me started.
I don't see many people praise FNAF 4 like that. FNAF 2 was my favorite for the longest time, and I still think it's. I think if we're looking at the games objectively, in my eyes, it's the best one. Sorry.
For sure. No, for sure. Opinions are opinions. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
FNAF 4 scared the shit out of me. That's why I like it so much. Tsuma, is there anything else you would like to say about lore and or sister location?
Yes, actually. I believe it's in Custom Night in this one, where we get to see a little tidbit of sort of like the layout of the building that we're in, and it looks like a game, which I thought was like super freaking cool. That's like such a cool Easter egg and stuff, and that gives us more of like something to go off of in terms of lore. Do you know actually what I'm talking about, or do I just sound crazy?
You said the Custom Night, you meaning the secret room?
Yeah. So in the secret room on the wall, there's a map of where you are. And you can see where different cameras are sort of like set up and angled, and it's for a different game. Nerdieo, what game is that?
It would be so it was in FNAF 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It was FNAF 4. So the idea was that William Afton had the cameras set up in the household. So when you type in, what is it, 1983 or 1984?
I think it's 1983.
Then the cameras actually show the night or the FNAF 4 house.
And that is so cool. That's one of my favorite Easter eggs.
There's a lot to lore. I don't.
Well, that's why we're here. This is time for lore.
Okay. Do you guys understand what that implies?
No.
That FNAF 4 was going on during this or before this?
Kind of. So what goes on? Oh my goodness, I'm really gonna do this. This is really what I'm gonna do. Okay, I've been waiting for this.
Go for it, man. So we're here.
So in Sister Location, it's revealed that in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, Purple Guy, the father of the kid who is the victim in FNAF 4, the nightmare animatronics are actually being force fed to him through like some radio waves. Basically, Purple Guy's controlling his son's vision with like sound waves, and by controlling his brain through sound. We all know that the animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 are illusions, and all of Sister Location is basically just William Afton's like office where he controls and sees about all of his murderings and things. But his goal in Sister Location was actually to prevent his family from dying to these animatronics because he's become so obsessed with killing people with them. So his whole goal in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is to make his son so scared of the animatronics he would never want to go to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. And that was one of the minor steps to get his family away from the pizzerias. So this way they don't have to ever even get the chance to die. But obviously that doesn't go very well.
It doesn't go right because in the next installment that method doesn't work.
In Sister Location, we figure out that their whole family is gone. You play as his other son who dies because Ennard. His mom is possessed by Ballora. His daughter is possessing Circus Baby. And his son died.
Yep.
His other son died.
The other son died because I think that's 87. Died of 87.
Was that the bite of 87?
Oh, so
Was that the
iconic.
bite of 87?
So freaking iconic. I was
One.
When I tell you my jaw dropped to the floor when I first saw that, oh man. The lore is delicious, and I'm so excited to talk about the lore of the next game. There's so much good that comes out of Pizzeria Simulator. I have to get the pickles.
Pizzeria Simulator is so good. We get introduced to the best animatronics too.
Lefty, yes.
Oh wait, actually no, never mind. I was thinking of Ultimate Custom Night, but Lefty's very, very good. But I'm talking about Mr. Hippo.
Mystery Hippo! I love him.
The goat. I love Mr. Hippo so much.
Isn't it the one who like just talked for like 6-7 minutes?
Yeah, his game over screen is like a different 8-minute story every time.
It's a different
You're right. He
one?
was introduced in Pizza Simulator. You were right.
Oh, it was Pizzeria Simulator.
Yeah, that's when he gets introduced, and the other ones too.
Yeah.
Number one crate.
Number one crate.
So now I'm gonna have to buy the game for. Oh wait, it's free. Y'all download it.
Yeah.
We're gonna stream it together. Every one of us.
And Ultimate Custom Night is also free as well.
Ultimate Custom Night. Yeah, I played that game. Just thinking about playing like 50-20 mode or any kind of mode. So much skill that goes into that.
They're insane. Yeah, you have to play perfectly.
Yeah, I guess such a location sets you up for that. You got to play perfectly. Don't mess up. Well, I think that concludes Table Talk for this awesome installment in the franchise.
Yay, Quinn!
Thank you for having us, Quinn.
Quinn!
So thankful that every one of you were willing to join me and talking about this wonderful game. You all are amazing. If you haven't, please go check out each and every one of these guys. CaptainMatt ASMR on YouTube, Tsuma ASMR on YouTube, and Nerdieo on YouTube. These guys, all three of them, are quality content creators. And it's very easy to get lost in all their content. And I can't say enough good things about them. But yes, thank you guys again.
I appreciate that.
That was really sweet.
So y'all are sweet. Y'all are great. The next time, I guess. Not sure what we're gonna do next time. I gotta beat the game. I gotta beat Pizzeria Simulator before I even think about doing anything.
You do so good.
There's a lot of endings. There's like four or five.
It's so replayable though.
It is very replayable. I want pickles. I want the pickles.
Shout out to Pickle.
Shout out the pickles. Number one crate. I have another picture apparently. Oh, the mini arenas. Yes.
No.
The mini
Pass.
arenas. Everyone's
Pass.
favorite.
No.
Get out of here. I hate him. I hate him so much.
Undo it.
What is that design? Man, look at your shoes. Man, look at your fit. Look at your mask. Look at your smile. Look at your joints.
Honestly, the most
Look at how your
complete-
arms aren't the same size.
Go back. Yeah, that was going to be the screen for the lore, but I'm kind of glad we didn't. I just wanted to give you guys a little nightmare. Anyway, okay, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for joining me. I usually put on my outro screen, but it actually cuts off all the audio, and I want everyone to be in this outro. Yeah, already said it. Check them out. And yeah, that's Quinn. See you in the next video.